Hello everyone and welcome back to the 30-day at-home handstand challenge. We are now in session 5. We're getting onto those hands again today and we're gonna really focus on strengthening those shoulders. For the session today, we're gonna need exactly the same tools that we needed in the last session. We need some wall space and we need our dowel. Without further ado, let's jump into the warm-up. All right, similar to what we did in the previous session, we wanna get those shoulders moving, so it's gonna be easier when we're on our hands upside down. We're gonna get some wrist strength in. We're gonna focus a little bit more on position and opening up the hips a bit. So, feet together to start. We're going 10 backwards, 10 forward circles with the arms. Making sure just those arms are moving. Biggest circles possible. And let's go forwards. Let's get those arms to brush the ears as they come around the top. Pay attention to the little details of your body and of your arms. Make sure the fingers are tight, arms are straight. Okay, arms out in a T, we're gonna do some scissors. When you have the arms behind the back, try to get a good stretch. If you can, see if you can get your fingers to touch behind your back, about 10 times. And arm up in the air, behind the back. Let's pull that arm over. Get the stretch in the lat, in the triceps. You can use your head as well on this one to push into the arm, and that'll force it to be a little bit further opened. And other side. Again, using that head to push into the arm, open up the shoulder, leaning over to the side if you need more stretch. Arms down to the sides, we're gonna do our shoulder shrugs. Shoulders all the way up to the ears, all the way down. We've got 10. Try to think about bringing those shoulders all the way up to the ears. Shoulder circles going backwards. And forwards. When they're at the bottom, try not to relax the shoulders, but actively pull them down towards the floor. Now we're down on the floor, we're gonna stretch out those wrists. We got about a minute, moving around on the hands. Remember, we're trying to find a spot where those wrists feel tight. We're gonna do some rocks there to try to open them up. You can go forwards and backwards on the rocks, side to side, or just sit in that position, breathe into it. Remember to move the hands around, try to hit as many different angles as you can. We want to try to create as much movement in the wrist, rotation, flexion, and extension. Don't forget about flipping them upside down. I know, it's your favorite. You're waiting for this one. You couldn't wait until we had those hands upside down. This one I like to bend and straighten the elbows, trying to move around. When we think about flexibility, we want to try to create space in flexibility. Just sitting in a position isn't necessarily the best way to open it up. We want to create movement. We want to create a little bit of space in that joint. And the best way to do it is to move around, wiggle around, and try to open up that joint. So do it with your wrists. Now let's jump into the strength for the wrist. Let's see if you guys remember all the exercises. We're starting palms down, and the first one is where we're pushing the wrists off the floor. We got 10 reps here. Today, if you can, let's try to walk those knees a little bit further back. 1, 2, 3, nice and controlled. 4, 5, when you come down, don't let them drop down, control them down. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, flipping them upside down, onto the knuckles. This one is you guys roll off the ground. You can use a little bit of bend in the elbows to assist. So we're down, we have a little bit of bend. As we come up, rolling back up to the knuckles. We got 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, feel the wrists working. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hands go back down, fingers forwards. Now we're gonna do our push-up up onto the fingertips. If you guys want, you can try taking this one back to a front support. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Last one is the fingertip. Fingers together for this one. Make sure your shoulders are over top of your hands. Push all the way up 10 times. Hold at the top for a moment. Make sure those fingers are nice and straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, into a full front support. We're gonna work on the scap shrug. Try to create some movement in those shoulders. So, shoulders over the hand, bum tight, belly round. We're gonna pull those shoulder blades together, trying to get our chest as close to the floor as we can without bending the arms, and then pushing up round till that back is nice and round. 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Taking it all the way down to the stomach. We're gonna go ahead and work on our T stretch. Arms out to the side, rolling over. Remember, use that top leg for leverage. Let it pull you down. Top arm trying to reach down. Let's go 15 seconds here. And over to the other side, arm out. Remember to keep that 90-degree corner between the shoulder and the body. Let's reach over, 15 seconds. Use that leg to pull into the stretch. Try to get those hands nice and close. All right, staying on the tummy, we're gonna do 10 black burns. Let's get those shoulders ready. Here we go. Chin on the floor, feet together. Don't forget about that shape. Lift up and let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pop up into the seal stretch. Gonna go 15 seconds in the middle here. Keep those hips low. Trying to get the stretch in the belly. And let's push back to the cat stretch. Open up those shoulders, armpits to the floor, bum up high. Remember, you can move side to side on this one. Try to open up those shoulders, creating space. Okay, next step, we're gonna work on some lunges. This is gonna be a little bit more structured today as we wanna pay attention to the position that we're using in the hips. So, what we wanna do is we wanna create a 90-degree bend at both the hip and the knees. In this position, we're gonna try to create that posterior pelvic tilt where we're tucking our bum under, tucking our belly in. We're gonna feel a really big stretch in the hip flexor and a little bit in the quad. Once we pull into that position, we're gonna hold for 15 seconds. Try to keep that back flat, ribs pulled down, bum is super tight. We should be able to squeeze and feel that bum turned on the entire time. Once we're done 15, let's go ahead and open up that lunge position. Now we're trying to push the hips down to the floor as close as we can get it. Belly's still staying in, we're not letting an arch happen. Maintain that same shape. Okay, straight leg in the front, making sure your bum is right over the knee in the back, hips are square. We're trying to get our chest down onto the leg. 15 seconds here. Breathe into that stretch. Try to get the chest down. Okay, we're gonna repeat on the other side. 90-degree lunge to start, at the knee, at the hip, and bum is tight, ribs are tucked in. We're turning those hips under. We're feeling the stretch in the hip flexor. Front of the leg, we got 15 seconds. Really push, you're gonna feel your knee pushing into the floor as you do this one. You'll feel that hip flexor turning on. Keep it tight, we only got 15 seconds here. And now big step, 15 seconds. Hips nice and low to the floor. On this one, you can keep the hands on the knee, or you can try to reach your fingertips towards the floor. Notice that my arms are directly in line with the body. I'm not leaning forwards. Keeping my shoulders back, my belly in. I'm trying to push those hips down. Okay, straighten out the front leg. Check your hips, make sure they're right over top of that knee, and let's try to get the chest down. 15 seconds here. As you exhale, try to let the chest get closer to the knee. Okay, into our doggy drop position. We're gonna work on the shape now. Starting with 10 cat-to-cows, big arch in the back, bum and belly sticking out, and then we tuck the ribs in, and we tuck the bum under. Notice that I have a nice C shape, nice and round from the knees, all the way through the bum up to the shoulders. Let's do 10. And 1, 2, 3. At no point, 4, should we be relaxing. 5, use strength. 6, in both the arch. 7, and in the hollow. 8, 9, and 10. Okay, skill practice for the day. It's gonna be very similar to what we did in the last session, in session number 4. We're gonna switch up the order of the exercises, and our handstand work is gonna be a little different. We're gonna begin today with our dowel in performing our dislocates. If you found it was tricky with a rigid bar, go ahead and use something like a bungee. And as you roll through, it's gonna take a little bit of the tension off the shoulders. Remember, for this one, we're setting up feet together, bar in the front, and we're thinking about moving the shoulders around the body. Protracting them in the front, trying to reach along with the bar, lifting up at the top, and then pulling the shoulders backwards, retracting the shoulders as we come through. We're going nice and slow. We're not letting the body move. We're focusing on the movement with the shoulders. Here, we're gonna perform 5 reps, nice and slow, nice and controlled. For the handstand work today, last day we were practicing our shape. We're working on getting the belly round and the bum tucked under. Today we're gonna be working on strengthening those shoulders a little bit. Each set is gonna be a little different. We're gonna start by doing 10 reps where we're touching our head. On the next round, if 10 felt good, we're gonna move and we're gonna try to touch the shoulders 10 times. If that's good, on the next round, round 3, we're gonna try to touch our belly 10 times. If that's good, round 4, we're gonna try to touch the bum 10 times. So each one, the arm is having to move a little bit further, which makes it more challenging. I'm gonna go ahead and show you what these look like, and then I'll give you some key points to focus on. So, handstand, we're gonna remember our position that we practiced. Walking in, just the toes on the wall, shoulders tall, ribs lifted, bum tight. As I lean side to side, I'm just gonna let my hips move side to side. I don't wanna have my feet moving. I'm gonna keep the feet where they are in the middle. Gonna keep those shoulders tall. This is really important that we're pushing tall through the shoulders, as it'll make it stronger when we lift the arm off the floor. So switch to one side, touch the head, touch the head. Notice that when I'm touching the head, this supporting shoulder stays nice and tall right beside the ear, and that gives me strength. If I can do 10 here, with control. I'm gonna try to do, on the next set, touching my shoulders 10 times. Notice the wiggle in the hips, and I'm pushing really tall. Think about trying to push that hand through the floor, and that keeps it strong. If we got the shoulder, we're doing the belly. Push the shoulder tall, nice and strong. And then if that's good, all the way to the bum. Now, on the hands, you notice that the big focus there was really trying to push out tall. The taller you can push with the shoulders, the stronger and more stable the handstand position is gonna be, especially when we're shifting our weight onto one arm. Now, for this one, you notice that we're focusing on getting the shoulder to the ear. The other thing you can think about, if the head is sticking out more and we're not losing position of the body, then we can try to get our cheek to be beside the shoulder, because we're moving from this position here, where our shoulders are close to our ears. If our head's out more, then it's gonna be more of the cheek beside the ear. Now, if the head is sticking out more, the thing that you wanna make sure is that you're maintaining that shape, keeping the ribs lifted while the head's out. A lot of times what I'll see with athletes is if their head goes out, their body moves with the head. And we develop this arch in the back, that big banana back, which is what we don't want to see in the handstand. So if you're noticing that you're starting to sag in your back and you're starting to arch, keep the head more neutral. Think about shoulders to the ear. If the shape in the body isn't a problem, go ahead and stick that head out a little bit more so you can see the hands better, and try to think about getting your cheek onto the shoulder. After we're done our handstand work, we're gonna come back down and we're gonna work on practicing that position today. Same exercises we did in session 4. We're doing bum and belly out, bum and belly in, practicing posterior and anterior pelvic tilt, making sure we're using the strength as we move through these positions, not just sitting in the position, but strong and squeezing the muscles into this position so that we can understand them more closely. If you guys can do it in a front support, and 5 reps is feeling good there, we're gonna take it down into a plank. Same exact exercise, keeping a straight line from the shoulders to the toes, bum and belly out, bum and belly in. Really trying to think about practicing the shape that we need when we're in the handstand position. The goal today is 4 rounds where we're doing 5 reps with the dowel to start, 10 reps on the wall, and then 5 reps of our position work. If you're able to do 10 head touches, let's try the shoulder touches on the next round, then the belly, and then the bum. If you just want to stay with the head touches or just the shoulder touches, stay there. If that's even feeling too tricky, let's just try to stand on those hands again, like we did in the previous session, and spend some more time upside down. 4 rounds, and then let's jump into the bonus challenge. Okay, challenge of the day is just walking on the hands. We practiced a bunch against the wall, lifting the arms off the ground and learning how to shift the weight. So today we're gonna try just getting some steps on the floor. If you guys wanna time them again, feel free, but your shoulders might be a little bit tired from all the work that we did against the wall. So if you're not able to get further than where we did last week, totally fine, but let's try to get some weight shift. Let's try to fight for some balance when we're upside down. So go ahead and kick up, and then what you wanna think about is you wanna think about walking to where your body is falling. So of course we're trying to keep the center of mass over top of the middle of where our hands are, but we want to use where the body is moving to in order to catch that handstand. So it's kind of like, you know, when you take like a stick and you balance it on your hand and you try to keep it in the air without falling down, and you kind of move the bottom hand underneath where the center of mass is. So wherever the top ends up falling to, I end up moving to where that position is. So it's kind of the same as that when you're on your hands. If your legs are falling that way, well, you walk that way. If your legs are falling that way, you're gonna walk that way. Typically, we don't fall side to side, but you might need to walk side to side. So go ahead and kick up, and then feel, where's that weight gonna move to? And if it falls this way, I'm gonna walk that way. If it falls the other way, I'm gonna walk the other way. So we wanna feel, where is the weight of our body? Is it moving towards our fingers and our hands, which means I'm falling onto my back, I'm gonna walk that way, or is it falling towards my belly? Oh, gonna walk that way. You're gonna find that walking towards the stomach is typically a little harder than walking towards the hands. I don't know if that's forwards or if that's forwards. Because your forwards is up that way when you're upside down. So is walking that way forwards or is walking, I don't know. Either way, walking that way, forwards or backwards, whichever way you want to call it. I find walking backwards with my back going that way is easier than walking forwards with my belly going forwards, but you might find something different. See how many hand steps you can get? The second thing you want to do if you want to time it, definitely time it. Let's go about 5 tries on that one. If you want to play with it a little bit more, feel free, because walking on the hands is super fun. And then I'll see you guys on Friday for the next session. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. That's gonna be it for session number 5. I hope that you guys are finding these videos helpful and informative and finding something fun to do while we're all stuck inside. Make sure you tag me in your work on Instagram. I'd absolutely love to see how you guys are making out, how you did with the harder work that we're doing today. Make sure you guys are putting in that work to strengthen those shoulders this week, because next week we're gonna be working on balance. Anyhow, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can hit the bell and it'll notify you when I drop these videos. Again, hope you guys are doing well, and I'll see you on Friday.